அவ்வளவுதான்.
Yay! Hello, gentlemen, and Manchester United fan class. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us.
Why is that I am not a gentleman?
Look at the club that you support.
Since yesterday.
Huh?
You've lost all the privileges since yesterday. After your, that you didn't go out and rant about what your club or where your club is at. You just lost the privilege to continue to be a gentleman. You were very subtle and cryptic in your tweets.
Yeah. But
I think you're not even catching a break, Klasa, to be entirely honest. Sancho is scoring, assisting. If he's scoring outside the box, inside the box.
25 million, at least he has to do this much. If he doesn't do, then
fair enough. We've got something very cheap and we are very happy with it as for now, at least.
Cool.
Let's go.
Where do we start?
Liverpool.
Newcastle, Liverpool. We don't have a Liverpool fan here, right? So,
this is your time, Ajay. Let's go.
It's your time to shine.
Yeah. So I think, long story short, it was we gave them a great. We kind of ran them rugged in the first half. They had very little penetration into our final third in the first half. Whatever build-up play that they used to do over the first few weeks, right, through their midfield and fullbacks, we neutralized it. They had absolutely very little time on the ball, so we almost kind of made them do errors all over the pitch. So the first half story was that we didn't put them to the sword. We just went into the break with a 1-0 lead, which would have easily been 3-0 up. So I think that was the story of the first half. The second half was Liverpool being Liverpool. All of the the wealth in the world that they are blessed with Salah and Nunez and Gakpo and Diaz. I think they had to score, right, which they did. And Salah was just unplayable in the second half. I think that the third goal that he scored with 5 people around him, the amount of time that he had to A, receive the ball, B, make the judgment on what he's going to do with it, and C, execute it as well as he did between Shah's legs, right? He's just special, right? You really could see that guy was special. Yeah, Rohit.
Yeah, there's just 4 inevitable players in Liverpool. It's Salah, Trent, Virgil, and Alisson. Kelleher has been a good replacement, but he's not Alisson. That's just it. He cost them the third goal. The third goal.
You say that, but I want to say that we made Van Dijk and Trent look very workmanlike.
Yeah, absolutely. Not taking any credit away from Newcastle, they were fantastic. I was thinking that Gomez is at some point they're going to miss Konate, which they did. At the end of the day, I think if you have key personnel out, it's going to cost you at some point. So Newcastle took full advantage.
I want to say Liverpool are the only team in the top 6 that haven't replaced or bought a new centre back in the last 4-5 years, I think. Or your traditional big 6, right? They are the only team that haven't bought I think Konate was the last centre back that they bought. Right? So in that sense, they do a refresh. Sorry, it wasn't Trent. I meant Kelleher. But yeah, I think, like you said, I think Salah was just Salah, right? So unplayable.
So,
entirely from banter perspective, I think given the situation that you guys were leading the game 2-0 again, it was
1-1, 2-1, then they went 3-2. So that's how it went.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry. But I felt, I just saw the highlights, I didn't see the entire game. I just saw the scoreline, but I felt even in the highlights, you guys had a lot of opportunities. I don't know how much you guys had in the game itself. And I genuinely wanted you guys to win because I don't want Liverpool to pick up momentum, honestly. And you guys had the opportunity. You guys could have put it to bed. What do you think? This is the case, or do you guys think you are the mid-table Tottenham, playing well against big team and losing against smaller teams?
That is such an insult. I think,
Tottenham is the mid-table.
Yeah. So I think 100%.
No, you should have called them. You could have called them Robin Hood of the Premier League at least. Come on,
If-
man. Seriously,
If someone in 2007 told me that we are lower than we are the mid-table Tottenham, I would have literally ripped them apart. Right?
It's an
Before
insult
Ashley took over.
any time of the century. That's the catch.
Yeah, but yeah, but you're absolutely spot on. Because Ani, I think we have spoken about this in the past also in podcasts that both of us have been, and also in tweets that you share. We are so good out of possession, right? It is only when teams like Brentford who give us the ball, we don't know what to do with it. We then end up being very hurried, and we lack the players, and we lack the the maturity to kind of do the things that we have to do with the ball. Right, that is where we are very susceptible.
Ajay, what do you see as a realistic target for Newcastle this season?
We have to invest. I think, having said whatever we are saying, I think at the time that we took over, we were our total. Thank you so much. Yeah, our total. I want to say our market value of the entire squad was 271 million, which in today's market is the squad value of Southampton. Right? We have
that's our midfield, bro.
What is that?
That's our midfield.
So I think
Our
now
midfield too.
Now that we have spent another 300 million, we have gotten to in the 600 million bracket. But all of the other big 6, 7, 8, whatever, right? All of them have spent further. They are all crossed 900 million or a billion. So realistically, we have only the 8th best squad in the league. Right? For Eddie Howe to pull out another rabbit out of the hat, he can't do it. So think of all of the signings that we made in the last 1.5 years. We have signed Tonali, who was virtually absent for a whole year, right? Barnes, I don't know if he'll ever start over Gordon. Livramento and Hall are the two starting potential fullbacks for England. Right? And Botman was earlier. And Kelly. So this season we only signed Hall. We just made that thing for, that loan, we made it permanent. We signed Kelly. He's never going to get a start. He's the fourth choice left back and the 5th choice centre back. And we signed that Vlachodimos for all of the the PSR. Yeah, the PSR things that we have to do because it is a it is a very restricted league at the top. They want to keep it that way. And then we signed Osula, 10 million striker who will become a Solanke 6 years from now. Solanke was signed by Eddie Howe in Bournemouth 8 years ago, right? The same Osula profile that Solanke possesses. So we haven't made any investment. I think to answer a long answer short to your Rohit, is realistically Europe. I want to say Europa League, but we need to invest big in the January transfer market.
Also,
bro, before
when you speak
I
about
just wanted to
the
ask you one
game,
question.
Yeah.
Sorry, you carry on, bro. Sorry.
even speaking about the game itself, I think Liverpool were lucky to come out of the game 3-3 because there was a very valid penalty shout which didn't even go for a VAR for whatever reason. Like it looked like a penalty to me.
And Amazon being whatever, right? They only kind of telecasted it once more.
They cut it off.
If it was any of the other big 6 clubs, they would have kept telecasted it, or they would have telecasted it repeatedly till the point where all of us watching
at the post-match conversation.
Seriously, I think it didn't get. It only got picked up in BBC Match of the Day. Sky didn't report it. In the next morning when they do that referee jugaad that they do, right?
Are you saying we need a David Coote?
No, we have Michael Oliver. We're good.
He'll be pinging one of us for a job soon, by the way.
We have Michael Oliver. We have Howard Webb. We have enough.
What do you mean two wrongs
I think
make one right?
I think totally agree with that point, Klasa, that Liverpool were lucky to get away with it. Again, Salah pulls something out of his bag of tricks.
Yes,
it's not a sustainable way to keep accumulating points. So yeah, and I think
the interesting fact would be is if Salah gets a contract, how would the performances change after he gets the contract?
I think that's not that. I think that's not as much of a question for me because at the end of the day, Salah is going to be Salah. But if you're dependent on one player to pull like a magic trick every single game, you can't do it. You can't win a title with just that. So I
Says
feel
the
like
team that
there are more.
Rohit, I have to pull this punch. Says
Saka
the team that
FC.
only relies on set pieces for goals.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that. It's like it's the same. It's I was trying not to bring Arsenal into this conversation, so we'll cover that.
The
We'll cover
only
that.
thing
I have
is,
some thoughts about it.
Klasa, my, it's in the tip of my tongue. Salah is not Rashford. I just wanted to say this. After getting he might go on to score double. I'm so
No,
sorry,
but
Klasa.
Salah wasn't even listed in the top 15 players last season. He didn't even get a shout in the Ballon d'Or.
Insane.
Right? Top 10. It is just so insulting. Forget everything else. Forget his contract situation, whatever. For someone who's as good, who's done as much, just because he has a certain profile and he's from a certain place of the world, right, is why he doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. So I think just purely based on that, I think he'll go one step further once the contract's signed, just to kind of showcase the world that he's probably the best player in the Premier League, if not Europe.
Yeah. So
Ajay, bro,
last question for you, Ajay.
I'll
Do you
ask
think
one
you're going to be able to keep Isak?
Yes, I also wanted to talk
See,
about
I think if we let Arsenal fans talk about it, you would already have him wearing Arsenal colours in FPL, right? We
I'd
don't
love him
speak
in
about
Arsenal
Isak as
colours.
much as you
Wait,
guys.
are there links between him and Arsenal?
There are,
No.
but I doubt it's going to happen.
It's not solid. It's not solid.
So I think it's slightly disrespectful for the club that he is currently in, and his loyalty to the club that he's currently in. The way that it almost becomes a right that the Big Six club, again, it's not my personal vendetta to talk about the Big Six today, but it just so happens, right? But the way that it almost is like a given right that, oh yeah, you know what, any player that plays well, you have to naturally become a Big Six player, or move to the Big Six team. Right. But yes,
Yeah,
in terms of aspirations, I think he has high aspirations. We have to match it. That is the
Which brings to my next question: when are you going to see past Eddie Howe?
I don't think he's the limitation. I think it is the team that is the limitation to it. If you gave him a Salah in yesterday's game against Bournemouth, if you gave him a Salah, just replace Jacob Murphy with Salah, the results we would we were just 1 week away from being fourth, or one week, which is West Ham and Crystal Palace. We're just
I
5
think this
points
was
away
the
from
this
being
was the
fourth.
only week where the real separation happened, Ajay. Before that, there was a lot of teams even not being entirely bad. It's not about banter. Like from top 2 to 14th, everyone could have jumped anywhere.
Correct.
Right. So my question is, if does Eddie Howe have the same aspiration to take Newcastle to the top 4 and stay consistent with it, or do you think he will naturally progress to a top 6 club also?
I want to say a bit of both. It will probably be that we will have to progress. I think the ceiling is much higher than what he's showcasing right now. And I just think we need like 4-5 signings of the likes of Botman, Isak, Bruno. If you give him a team of that level of talent, I think we could easily be in the top 4 in this league.
Right. That wraps up our press conference weekly with Ajay from Newcastle. Let's move on to the pick 6. Some of the more important fixtures. And because we have...
Wait. Newcastle Liverpool was important because Liverpool were playing.
Oh, shit.
If only I could take a trip to Toronto today. Good stuff. Yeah, sorry, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, so we have Klasa, we have Rohit, and it so happens that we did not cover the games midweek because they are coming thick and fast. Let's talk about Arsenal versus Manchester United.
You mean set piece FC was the one which can't defend set piece?
Yeah, true. So Rohit, bro, you will go first, or I?
Yeah, no. I think it was it started off as a bit of a chess match. I think Arsenal were trying to figure out what United are going to play like. I know we played Sporting, which was Amorim's former side, last week, and we thrashed them 5-1. But it was just like Arsenal still play. I think it's my big criticism of Arsenal players is that they play the United badge too much. United are frankly just a terrible mid-table side at this point. They deserve to be thrashed by Arsenal at some point, but
They are the
we respect
Newcastle
them
of
too
the
much
top.
thanks to
See,
they're
the Newcastle
Please.
thing is over. You can't keep
Yeah.
digging onto
So-
it. You can't get oversaturated.
Callbacks. I always reserve the right for fun callbacks, especially if it comes at the expense of United folks.
So I think one of the things that happened is Gabriel and Calafiori were both out. Gabriel, I think he got a concussion against West Ham, so he was out. Calafiori, he's in and out of the team. So we started with Kivior at left center back and Zinchenko. All these things, they affect the dynamics a little bit, but we were very reserved in the first half, and then we started going ahead in the second half. We started taking the game to United, and again, set piece FC. It's a weapon. People classify it as. I wouldn't look down on it. It's a genuine threat that we have, that we work towards,
Of course.
and it's a plan B that we have. That yeah.
Back in
So all the banter aside, like it's a very legit plan B that we have, and we end up scoring from it. And I have no complaints with it. We could score every goal from a corner for the rest of the season. As long as we win something, I'm happy with it. It's not going to happen. It's not sustainable. I take all of that, and I agree with all of that.
All right,
But it was a good win. It was an important win.
I don't know. For some reason, with Rohit's body language, you would think that Arsenal actually lost the match. The way that he just sounds.
No, that's because we drew against Fulham, and that's fresher on my mind. I didn't get the time to savor the win against
Fair
United,
enough.
which is, for me, an old school Arsenal fan, that's the original enemy. So I was ecstatic when that happened. I bantered a bunch of my friends.
We all want to
But
hear
now-
Plaza talk about that game.
Yep.
Amorim has been in the dugout for a while, and honestly, I know we all like make jokes. We want to pull Plaza's leg, but it's like the Tom and Jerry meme at this point. How many times are you gonna do that? So
I think this season we have to already write off the moment
Shit.
the
Masa,
manager.
come on. I expected better.
No. What else do you expect me to say? See, I was
Project 5.0.
I was biting my teeth when he said United deserve to be thrashed. But see, the thing is, I cannot argue against it. So, as much as I want to defend the team, that the team has to defend for itself as well. So you cannot run just.
You mean
based on
set pieces?
Yeah, set pieces as well. But yeah, it's a matter of time before it becomes illegal as well. So just to pull the thing on that,
Exactly.
it's just a matter of time before it will become illegal as to where they score regularly. The costliest Stoke City, I would say. So
See,
yeah,
I'll
but
tell you one thing. Okay, when Ryan Shawcross from Stoke City broke Aaron Ramsey's leg, then Arsenal were called soft. We have to man up, and we have to, it's men versus boys.
it took you 2 billion and 20 years to achieve this. Kudos to
It
that.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We
Yeah,
say that we
yeah.
score the same. We score the same from corners and dunk 2 on United, and United
Yeah.
fans are already crying. Come
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
bro.
You
You won a treble in 1999. You use from a corner, right? So I mean,
no one is discounting that it was one game.
Where
okay?
is
Not
the
the entire
popcorn?
season.
Where is the
Not entire
popcorn? bro?
season, but yeah,
like I said,
if my manager has to spend 800 million and he has to win games by this way, I will probably question, because it is 5 years into the tenure. So
okay, fine.
that is all I will question. But if it works for you, jolly well, it works for you. But from a United standpoint, I have seen shitty football, but I will possibly say that I wouldn't want my team to just have that alone as the only weapon.
Okay, now see, basically what the thing is, a lot of people have been saying that whenever United beat Arsenal, or any other team beats Arsenal, people say you take the L and move, man. You lost, you get nothing from this game. So what I would say right now is take the L and move, bro.
I have already taken the L and moved on, bro. You are the one who is insisting on speaking about
No,
this
see,
again.
He has so many
I-
L's. Nobody in his family for generations have to apply for a driver's license. He just
No,
has
I
them
mean,
in store. He can just stick it in his car and move on.
no,
What do
bro.
you mean, big deal?
No. See, for banter apart, what I wanted to say, I really wanted to appreciate United. I mean, Ruben Amorim particularly, because in the first half, the way United played, I mean, I was really, I was very scared that they might hit us on the counter because they were baiting our press and beating our press very well, which is typical from an Amorim side. Amorim sides have, in Sporting, when Amorim was the manager, he had a PPDA of 7.1, which is staggering. 7.1 is a staggering PPDA number per passes per defensive action. So that is, basically how many number of passes you allow the opposition before you successfully perform a defensive action and win back the ball. So so that number is 7.1, and I mean that's a staggering number. And when you beat United side who are doing that tactic very well, the thing is Amorim doesn't have the players to play his kind of football. That is the main issue that I'm facing.
Exactly that. Right.
And
So
Provided
when
we
you talk
take
about
good transfer windows, and United will be back. I am pretty sure.
And-
But again,
I'll tell you this.
One thing,
I'll-
one thing is, when I watched the game, I was surprised by the way United played, but it was more of passive game, I would say. But it was like how an away side should actually play at Arsenal. They played that very clearly. But when we went into the half without scoring, at that point of time, you always know that you are going to fall prey to the set piece or some other Saka brilliance that you might get. So United was, I wouldn't say up, but they never got like a concrete chance. For example, if Dallo had finished that, United could have then gone into a proper low block for the entire second half. Even at that point of time, having that set piece as an option is again like tough to defend because we don't have decent defenders right now who can actually defend the set piece, which you can see both from the Arsenal game and also from the Nottingham game.
We all saw the Titanic post, bro.
And it's unlucky that Martinez got suspended and Mainu got suspended for the exact game. So
I mean, we saw Martinez defend a corner against
Yeah.
Nottingham, so I don't think
Yeah.
it would have made much of a difference.
yeah,
So so the first half, right? I was not surprised to see the way United played, but it was more like sterile dominance. You keep the ball, but if you're not entering Arsenal's final third and they hardly threatened, I was not afraid
that
of
is
them
a
scoring
manager
at all.
that is still trying to figure out his team.
Yeah, exactly. And the only chance they have had was from that. I think it was a Dallo shot across the face of goal, which was from a surprise Zinchenko error. I'm so ready to move on from him. But the second half, like we generated 13 corners in the game, and that was because in the second half we really pressed on and we said, okay, we can take the game to them, which was. I was very sure that we would score at some point. Set piece. It just happened that we are good at set pieces. Why not use it?
Yeah.
Overall, not disappointed with the performance at all. Again, in the midst of a lot of injuries, a lot of changes to dynamics that we have, a win is a win. I'll take the points where we get them. I think I'll keep maintaining this as long as we are within 5 or 6 points of the leaders by mid-January. I still think we can take it all the way into May.
Yeah, BTG has a bold. We are still
The
coming. for the
only
league.
question for both United and Arsenal here, no. I'll start with United. See, now you guys have a manager who can execute a plan. This was always the case with United for the recent past. If the manager is not there, he doesn't have the right players, and you guys lose the patience. And when the player is there, you guys don't have the right manager. So I don't know when you guys going to get the right balance. When is the right balance going to happen? That is for you, Klasa. And for you, at what point are you guys actually going to start questioning Arteta? That's my only question.
I'll take this one, bro. So see, the point is, you asked a very valid question, which is at what point will you start questioning Arteta? See, if we don't win anything this season, okay. Oh my god. Okay, if we don't win anything this season, yes, their Arteta will be questioned a lot from a lot of fans. I won't question him. if we finish second, or if we finish
he's
second this
Jesus, apparently.
sorry.
Arteta is your Jesus. You will never question.
Yeah, pretty much. See, he's my savior, at least, okay, because I've been watching football since 2017, 2018.
Do you think
That
he
was
will win you a title? Because if this
Yes,
season
bro.
he finishes,
Yes, I firmly believe that he will win us the title, and I firmly believe that we will be winning it this year. Yes, it is my firm belief.
That's really
I
bold.
have a little bit of a different opinion here. I don't think I will question Arteta for this season, but I don't think he's beyond question. There are some decisions that he makes. Sometimes his hands are tight. For example, like Liverpool, they kept making 90 plus points in so many seasons. There was one season that VVD was out. They went out to 69 points. So when your best players are out, there is a limit to what you can achieve, and that's what's happened to us this time. The squad balance is there. We actually got Calafiori, we got Timber back, so our squad has improved. Last season we scored the most goals we've ever scored in a Premier League season, second most points we've ever accumulated in a Premier League season, and we improved the squad. But there are a lot of injuries. To be hanging on in the top 4 at this point after such a run of tough fixtures, I think it's a great achievement. I think my one criticism of Arteta is that he can be a little bit more bold. He has an obsession with control, and I think he has a lot of PTSD from when he was a player being smashed by sides that he doesn't want to lose.
The control thing is becoming an OCD now. Rohit.
Yeah.
I will tell you that.
Yes, I think he could be bolder in his he could give up control and take the game a little bit more. Sorry?
Wonder who he was, being an apprentice for this obsession with control.
It's not about, no, bro.
Yeah.
There is one. I'll sorry to cut you off, Rohit, bro. I'll answer that. See, there is a beautiful video in Tifo Football. All of you guys should check it out. Okay, I have been watching that. In that, the guys in Tifo Football have stated that Arteta is everything that Pep isn't. Like Pep, he wants control by keeping his, having his team on the ball, and he should not give the ball to anyone, give the ball away, keep the ball, control the game like that. Arteta is trying to play his football completely out of possession. His objective is to make Arsenal an elite team out of possession first, and then when we have the ball, we can create chances. Pep style is more like keep the ball with you, don't give them the ball, because only if you give them the ball will they create chances. But Arteta is way different from that. There's this video on Tifo Football. You should definitely check it out. So I mean, it was really insightful for me, and that is where and it really strikes a chord, because last 2 seasons Arsenal have been an elite side out of possession. In possession, yes, we were good in 22-23, but then we were vulnerable to direct football. Like we went to Etihad and lost 4-1. We tried to press high. Pep simply cut through and finished us 4-1. So in that case, we've tried to get this out of possession thing done, and then hopefully we'll go on to win a title.
We'll watch the TiVo or Tifo Football video, but because you said finished, I also want to go to Klasa and answer the question that Anirudh originally asked about them. Klasa, why don't you talk through that in the context of the United and Nottingham game? Amorim has been around for 4 or 5 games now.
5 games now.
5 games.
Yes.
I know it's a non-existent time frame in the context of adapting to a new club that is as big as United and whatnot. But if I don't watch the Premier League, right? If I'm just following the results, they are not particularly encouraging. And what Anirudh brought up earlier, it's spot on. You either seem to have the right manager with wrong players, or the other way around. And you don't have this patience in modern football to let one find its way to the other, right?
I think it's wrong to say patience is not available in football. I think, to be very honest, like for a club like United fans have been patient for over a decade. For all the lackluster showing that has been done either by the club or by the players or by the manager, I don't see like United fans turning on the manager very soon. So you'll never see that happening. At least from the fans that I have always spoken with, I have always seen a tendency to support the manager no matter what. And this sacking, this which happened like a month or 2 months ago, is completely on Ineos and on the Glazers, I would say, where they chose to write off the season in between. And Amorim is basically playing pre-season with this club right now in the most hectic scheduled period of the season, where you'll play 2 games every week with no possible option to even train the players with his tactics, which is completely not possible. So he's basically left with like a bunch of players whom he cannot train properly right now. So my thing is, only when we get past December and mid of January, that is when Amarim will actually have time to sit with the players and start his tactics. So right now, all of these games which are going to happen, I'm not going to write them off. All I want to see is this should be like a fitness audition for all the players, where Amarim can use this to see how many players are open to running, or at least showing that they have the work rate to play in his system.
Realistically, what position would you be okay with United finishing? 10, 12?
I would be happy if we are either in a Europa League or a Conference League space. That is the realistic expectation. Anything beyond that is unreasonable. Even though I think it is quite early in the season right now, we are just 13 or 14 games into the season, and the gap between United and top four isn't like too huge. But you need to rely on other teams to also drop points at the same time. So
I think we've all talked about Manchester United as if it's our club, right? For the last 15, 20 years. We've talked it. It's almost like MUTV everywhere. But I to be honest, my biggest thing is mentality, right? With the fan base, with everybody. Sometimes you just have to accept that you're a mediocre club at a spot where you have to do a lot of squad refresh. There are a lot of things that need to be set right before you can even start launching yourself into European campaigns and whatnot. Because what will happen is you will have a scenario where the exact same thing that happened with Ole, exact same thing that happened with Jose, exact same thing that happened with Ten Hag, where you go one step forward and then you go 2 steps backward, 2 or many steps backward, right? You can't keep going into that cycle. Yeah. So what I'm just saying is, sometimes you just have to reflect on reality to say, hey, these are people that I absolutely want, regardless of system, regardless of this thing. These are defenders, these are midfielders, these are forwards, these are goalkeepers that I really can count on, right?
Yeah.
And then start building it up. And also in terms of expectations, just go one step at a time. Somewhere I just think if Manchester United finishes, let's assume 7th this season, as what you're wishing for, Klasa, the next season's expectation is immediately Champions League. The glory days are back. And if you finish 4th, 5th, the season after that is, oh, we are going to spend another 700 million, 300 million, 400 million, whatever it is, right? And then we have to start. So I think, like you said, patience is a virtue in sport. But I think it is very important. And let's be honest, Manchester United's story is just 2 managers, right? One Matt Busby and one Alex Ferguson. It's only 2 managers in your entire history of the last 80 years. Of course, they spread this thing, wide in terms of 40, 50 years. But it's only been 2 managers that have been successful. If you take those 2 managers out, even Alex Ferguson for the last, from 86 until 92, he did nothing. He finished 3rd. That was his best finish, if I'm not wrong. Right? So you have to have that perception of, yes, I might be the biggest club. Yes, there is investor pressure. Yes, we have to show results on the pitch and off the pitch. We have to have marketable players. We have to bring in revenue. But sometimes you just have to take a pause and say, I am only this, or we are only this. We need to have a 10-year project to get back to being sustainable. Like Arsenal is a classic case, right? 6 years ago, if somebody told us that Arsenal will be competing toe-to-toe with City year after year after year, we all laughed at it. When Emery left, we just thought it's a joke of a club. So
no, I think the expectations are quite realistic, to be honest. So you don't expect United to go to Champions League right now, because we know we are not belonging in Champions League. We'll go and get there, and we'll be steamrolled by teams all across Europe. So the expectations are for players to turn up and show like it matters to them as much as it matters for fans right now. At least keep it bare minimum from an effort standpoint. The results are secondary. Show us the efforts. Show that you belong on the pitch and you play for the club. And no one is expecting anything like we are not expecting United to win the league in next year. Also, the CEO Omar Barada, when he was signed, he said the plan is to win the title by 2027, or like at least by 2030, which will be almost 150 years of the club, if I'm not mistaken. So that is the ideal plan, and that is what between 27 to 30 is what they are looking at as a correct time when United can challenge. So getting players out of City, or at least staff out of City, at least that vision they have right now, which they didn't have because they were run by bankers before. So I cannot fault that. But when we have to speak about the game in itself, about Nottingham Forest game, we did expect a tough fight because Nottingham Forest is a better team than United this year. So no doubt about that. And uh, Chris Wood was expected to bully the defenders, and that's what he did. Not surprised. I'm just surprised that after scoring the second goal, United fell flat. When I expected them to at least score the third goal, and probably it might be a draw, but taking off players, of course, I know it is a hectic period, and he wants to rotate and keep the players fresh. He doesn't want an injury crisis. Amarim rotated, took off Bruno, took off uh, Garnacho, but Garnacho didn't do anything, to be very honest, all game. So my only gripe with the game was United didn't pass to the informed player as much as they had to. Ahmad was easily the best player on the pitch. They were kind of not getting
Shout
him
out to Ten
involved.
Hag.
Yeah, shout out to Ten Hag. He deserves to be sacked again just for not playing him right now. So, but yeah, just a joke. I don't want any managers to be sacked. But yeah, not passing to Ahmad looks quite foolish right now. And when we have to give credit to Nottingham Forest, because they came to United and they took the game by the scruff of the neck, and we didn't have an answer. Like two quick goals, Onana could have saved the second goal easily. I'm not like, I can understand if he got wrong-footed, but he's been one of the most improved
For-
players this year for
Klasa,
United. And
whatever
sorry.
Onana has done, it's enough, Klasa. Let him go, please. Even I can't take that. It's a straight shot, which I thought was a
Yeah.
deflection. I don't
Yeah.
know what wind was.
No, he got wrong-footed. He got wrong-footed, but he could have still adjusted. I didn't know why he didn't move.
There is hands.
Yeah,
Just
yeah. That was a very surprising.
For 1 second, no, it took me back to when Flappy Hansky was our keeper.
Klasa, question for you.
Yeah.
Which is the first position where you have to upgrade?
Currently, we don't have a person who can play on the left wing back. So right now we have Malaysia, we have Shaw. Neither of them are fit or can be trusted in that position. As much as Diallo is there on the right side, we need someone who can take the left side. Someone like the names that get mentioned, like Alfonso Davies or Tino Hernandez. No, we don't want to replace Luke Shaw with another Luke Shaw, London Luke Shaw or Leicester Luke Shaw. No.
Reece James.
Reece James right back, bro.
Reece
Let him
James,
be right back.
James.
Diallo with Reece James.
Reece James is B right back.
Yeah, let him be right
Yeah,
back.
he
please.
will always be right back.
Yeah, so that is the most important position. Followed by that, I would possibly say we need another midfielder, which is quite important.
Klasa, bro, I have one last question for you. Okay. Sancho. I have one last
Your
question.
question as well.
Sancho,
Come from your original account, man. Who is Ravi
No,
Kasati?
my question is this, bro. Do you think Amad Diallo has what it takes in him to go on a trajectory like Saka, carry Manchester United on his shoulders, and
I think we should not go so forward. Okay, he has played 10 games. He's in form. He's just 21 years old.
I think
He
we should
might
not
be
go so
older
far.
than Saka also, if I'm not wrong.
United strategy
But
mostly.
everyone has a different trajectory. Okay, so Salah was not the player he was when he was 21, even though he had the same pace when he was at Basel. Like every player's development is different. I don't want to put the unwanted pressure on Ahmad as well right now, but I think he has the qualities to be a top quality Premier League player.
All right, let's
Yes,
move on to
yeah.
the Chelsea game.
Yeah,
The-
I mean, I'm going to talk about
Nice.
Chelsea in general, not just about Spurs. I think Southampton gave us a better fight than Spurs did, honestly.
Can we do
Yeah.
Spurs first? What are
Yeah.
your thoughts?
So
First
first
of
of
all,
all,
I'd like to apologize to some people here on the stream when Spurs beat Man City 4-0. And I wanted to spend some time on Spurs, and you rightly pointed out they had nothing to do with that win, despite scoring 4 goals. I did
I
not.
think I think the best thing that is coming out of Spurs is expressions. Okay, his videos are the best
Bangers,
thing that
bro.
you can see, and I'm surprised he doesn't have a comedy gig, a side gig. Okay, he's the best comedian I've seen.
What do you think the Tottenham job is?
Shit. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, coming to the game itself, see, I know the game is 90 minutes. I know we play 95 minutes of football with added on minutes and all that. They barring the first 10 minutes, I genuinely don't think Tottenham did anything. Not one chance they created that we didn't let them. We gave them every opportunity to score, and they did not want to score. We basically gave them 2 goals and say, "Hey, can you now win a game?" And they said, "No, we can't." So that's basically the entire summary of the Tottenham Chelsea game. But I have to give a huge shout out to Enzo Fernandez. I gave up on that brother in the first 5-6 games, and he said, "Good, it's not. I don't advocate this to all the married men, but maybe if that's a bad relationship, you need to come out of to get back in life. You can." Enzo Fernandez is an example, but proceed with caution is what I had to say.
No Country for Married Men. Title of this episode of Sports Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah, so
He channeled his racism into something productive.
Dude, I genuinely don't give one rat's ass because he's playing good football for us, and he's now putting his name in the 100 million tag, and he's performing to the whatever we expected him to perform. It's not because he's scoring and assisting. It's genuinely because he's popping up everywhere. He's in defense. He's in midfield. He's arriving late in the box. And I don't know what magic Maresca did. And this is basically showing how pathetic Pochettino managed the Chelsea club. I was crying out, just play the players at their usual position and we will be back. And Maresca is basically doing that.
I think finally your midfield looks like a 200 million midfield.
Yeah, I genuinely think that too. See, I did not like when Caicedo started at right back, and he basically said, "It's okay, Lavia. You had a good 45 minutes, and I think he was the best player in the 45 minutes in the first half. He still took him off, and we played even better than what we did in the first half. So it's a huge shout out to Maresca. He's making a lot of tweaks and he's finding out it immediately, and he's not afraid to make the changes in halftime or even let's say in 30 minutes. So that's a huge shout out. And the thing is, we have consistent attacking patterns, and it's just we're not reliant on Cole Palmer alone. We're not reliant on one particular player. It's like now if Cole Palmer is bodied by 3 or 4 players, it's creating space to players like Sancho, Enzo Fernandez, and even sometimes Neto is popping up out of somewhere. And I'm genuinely surprised that he's not injured yet. Touch wood, he shouldn't be injured. But yeah, it's that how pathetic his man management was last season and how poorly his medical team worked last season. And everything is working towards a positive. Well, we are on up, and I wanted to be up for a while. Let's see, it doesn't go down. So yeah, we are being a free-flowing side, scoring side for a long time because we scored 3 against Aston, 5 against Southampton, again 4. So I think we're the top goal scorers this season, including Liverpool, who has star and sea rights. So,
Anil, bro, I have one question for you. Don't you feel that Chelsea are peaking early? Because we went through this phase in 22-23 when we were going for the title challenge.
Ani, can I answer that?
Yeah.
BTG, it's better to peak early than to not peak at all.
At all, fair enough.
No, but
The thing
also
is-
they're not going for the title. right? If
I
you speak to
don't
the
think so.
team, I don't think they are in a pressure to then win a title. So
Who,
peaking is
Chelsea,
not
right?
Yeah.
Chelsea. They're
See,
just moving forward, moving
just
upwards.
like just
We are,
like us in 22-23, we were under no pressure, right? No one expected us to be in that title race conversation in the first place in 22-23. We were just playing fantastic football, and it was just coming. We peaked. I mean, we peaked very early. Okay, in Feb, March, and
That's it.
by the
That's it,
time
bro.
by April.
Get in there and make it about you.
No,
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 but
More,
let's take
it's a
more,
match.
more
Talk
than more than
about
that,
Chelsea
I,
for
I
some
feel
time.
Chelsea are really on an upward trajectory. I think where Chelsea really need to improve is the consistency of their defense, and they really need to upgrade their goalkeeper.
And not
And
just that,
I don't know
I
who
think,
that
I think,
upgrade
I
would
think,
be, but
I
just
think,
spend another 800 million. That's it. The
no,
problem is
I think they need a proper goalkeeper and a proper striker. And once they get that, I think they are a very scary side because they are a very young side. So the only way they will go is better because right now players like Lavia or even Parma, for example, they might be inconsistent at times. But as they grow and play more games together, it's just going to be easier for them to uh, scale upwards. And
just
I think
adding on to what our class are saying, all the players that we have in every single position are technically gifted on their
yeah. I'm
own
going
way.
to say that. Yeah.
On their own way. If they don't have a bad game, they can just flare up. They can just each position can bring out a single moment and they can change the whole game. And I'd say Palmer had a pathetic game yesterday. To be entirely honest, he was not there. I know I'm over exaggerating because he's got the 2 goals, but he still did not perform to what I expect him to perform. Because I'm considering him a world class player. That was not a world class performance. So for me, he was not nowhere. So, but again, the goal where Enzo Fernandez scored, that is the technical brilliance I was talking about. That particular phase of play, he was just dribbling past players, and no one could just touch him because he was inside the box. So that is that we have in each and every position, like barring Neto. Neto has got pace. He doesn't have a lot of technical ability to beat players one on one because Udogi pocketed him the whole game. And to be honest, uh, so I can see what he is doing, and that is a really scary proposition for a lot of clubs because the bench had players like Felix, Mudrik, and they had pace to burn. That's what I'm saying. On an tired leg, when you have players like that to pace to burn, it's dead.
Yeah, credit
Just
where due. I think even just a couple of streams back, me and
Bro,
Charlie were fun of.
Chris, bro, I'll one last point I want to add. Chelsea, Chelsea this season they are able to play well. They are able to rotate well. They are able to because I think you are not playing since there is no UCL for Chelsea. I mean, they are able to rotate their squad and they are able to keep their main players fit. Anirudh, bro, what do you think of that?
I think even if we had UCL, we would have still stuck with the squad A, squad B thing. We have so many players, we would have stuck with squad A, squad B. We are doing it. See, the thing is, we are doing it in Monday, Wednesday games. We had an entirely different squad for the Southampton game, an entirely different squad for the
correct.
Tottenham game, and that is the reason why we won. We could, we are free flowing side in terms of scoring. In terms of even conceding goals, we are a free flowing
Freshness
side.
off the pitch, right? When they start, they're all
I
fresh.
think
Yeah,
I think even their second squad is like almost 600 million or something, if
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
wrong. So
See,
there
Plaza,
is
there is no
there's
point bringing about money to
no, no,
Chelsea.
no,
Plaza.
no, no. I'm not saying about money. I'm just saying the quality.
Quality.
There
Yeah,
is
yeah.
no downgrade. That it's not that big a downgrade. I would say if your first team costs 800, your second team costs 600. So it's not that big a dip.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
how
yeah.
you have to possibly say for another smaller team.
Most teams would give a lot of money to have a second player squad in the first team.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have
absolutely.
Nkunku and Felix playing for second team. Okay, so that itself says Nkunku used to start for Leipzig and score goals for fun in the Champions League. So you are having that quality of a player playing a conference league. Obviously, it is going to build on the confidence, and they are ultimately reaping the rewards in both the tournaments.
The problem starts when you start to lose 2 to 3 games. I will tell you why. Because I don't know, to be entirely honest, I brought up Chilwell for fun. We genuinely don't know what Chilwell is. If he had lost 4 games, and let's say we lost yesterday's game, and yesterday's game was the fourth loss, and Kukurea made 2 mistakes, we would have immediately bought in Chilwell topic. Where is Chilwell? Why is he not playing? We don't have a front shirt sponsor yet. And there was a topic where when we lost or drew to Nottingham Forest, there was a rift between Todd Bowley and Ekbali. I don't know where that news is. So everything is calmed down at Chelsea, and this guy is like walking into the club, and he's just a chill guy handling Chelsea at the moment, Maresca. Honestly, and I agree to the point where Tifoso showed we are peaking too early. I don't know if we are peaking too early because we have the players. It's just that he's playing players at the right time, and there is a small problem is if we have picked this or we've shown this progression this soon, and even Maresca said it, we are ahead on arrival. What is the real proposition next season would be the real question.
I think even for this year, it's very tough to say where Chelsea will finish. I'm pretty sure it will be in top 3 or top 4, but no one knows like what is the limit that Chelsea has currently.
Which is why the stakes are
Yeah, the
lower
best-
for them than Liverpool, Arsenal, or City, right? So
Yeah.
that they're
The
just
best
there
player
for
is
the money.
always the player who's injured, right? The best player on your squad is the guy who's not playing because he's injured. I think you have a lot of players who are young, who are competing for the same positions. My expectation is that 1 or 2 seasons down the line, when they start, there's a lot of competition for the front, for the spots, for the starting spots. I think Maresca is still trying to discover what his starting 11 is. I know the starting 11 seems to be a bit of an outdated idea, but there is always a core group of players that any coach trusts. And so the people who are just below them on the rung, they can't break into the front line.
But I think he's already figured that out, Rohit.
Yeah.
Contrary to what you're saying,
So
I think
what I'm
he's
saying
figured
is that the second tier, they'll start to get dissatisfied, and that's when some problems will occur. And that's when one important aspect of coaching comes into place is how do you manage that? It's
I
easy
think
to
that
win
is-
games when everything is going well.
And that is also something which Nkunku has already raised because he is not
It's
having
already
playing-
happening, correct.
Yeah, it's already
Yeah.
happening. We'll have to see how he manages the players moving forward
Yeah,
because they are all on
Dewsbury Hall-
exorbitant contracts.
Yeah, Dewsbury Hall is already, is there on the loan market because we are looking for him. What do you call it? Nkunku is out. Misha is out. Right? They're all. Toshin is apparently looking at West Ham.
And
Right?
see,
So they're all.
honestly,
Yeah,
players
this is
who
the
are not-
City playbook, right? They've been doing it for a while where there are good
Yeah.
group of 15, 20 players. You can slot in anybody from the bench and they fit in seamlessly with the playing 11. And they are young players, so they have the resale value as well. They've already done that successfully. Why not just take it from them? Yes,
To be
Ajay.
entirely honest, to be honestly saying, we had a lot of players on market before, like let's say in 5-6 game weeks. We had Enzo Fernandez to be going on, but immediately he started playing well. So the thing is that there is a natural progression. I think the players know themselves. He is giving them an opportunity to perform. We have enough competition for them to perform. And in Conference League, we are putting them. If you play, you come back. If you don't play, you don't play. Apparently, Madueke, who had an extremely good game, Maresca told he is not training well, and he didn't start the next Tottenham game. And that's how honest he is with the players. So if you are not playing well, if you don't train well, you don't.
Yes,
play.
Ajay. You've been
You've
trying
been,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm just going to kind of go off a tangent from what Anirudh is saying. It's not natural progression more than natural elimination, right?
Yeah,
So
fact,
he's just kind of asking the people, the dogs, to kind of fight
progression
amongst
for the
themselves.
club. Progression for the club.
Yeah, because if you look at it, right, if you don't play, you know that there are 3 other players that are wanting to get your spot. So you almost kind of keep people on their toes almost all the time, right? Yeah, and just one last thing that I just wanted to say, which is in terms of Enzo Maresca, when he was managing Leicester, the biggest challenge that people had was they kind of ran away with the league or the championship until January. And then when teams start figuring them out, he didn't have a plan B, plan C. Right now, Chelsea are doing really well because they are winning their individual battles. To your point on technical ability, all of them are winning their individual battles. There will be times when the teams will start figuring things out, right? Which is where Enzo Maresca, as a coach or a manager, does he have another gear? Does he have another playbook in hand? Is something that we need to then
I
see.
genuinely don't know because it's just 15 or 20 games he's managed Chelsea at now. And I think he's got, well, at least at the playbooks, he's saying he's watched 20 games, 30 games of each games before each match, he said. And I believe him because it looks like he's changing plans for each game. And for Newcastle, he had a different plan. And immediately, you guys gave it back when we played at the St. James Park. So it looks like he has his limitations, and I don't know how soon those limitations will pop up. But I genuinely think at this moment he's a juggernaut and he's playing well. Let's see.
I think that is where the player's quality is also taking him out of trouble. Even when he is failing with like his tactics, all the players have that X factor to just take the game by the
Yeah,
scruff of the
individual
neck.
brilliance too.
And Bournemouth game is a huge example for that. We played shit football, we won it. And Maraska will come out, not deserve to even draw this game, but we somehow won because of our quality.
All of them want a high-rise mansion in West London. Over 2 billion, right? None of them want to let go of it. So I think that's why they're all kind of playing.
That's
their-
a geographical.
Gentlemen,
I just want to say, bro, you can have Raheem Sterling back, please. We are done with him.
Also,
Sorry?
would you give Sancho back? That's the question.
No, we don't want him back. You please keep him.
My
I think
man
he's
is
happy
happy.
in London.
My
I think he's
man is
happy in
happy.
London. Let him
Yeah,
happy.
yeah.
Stay happy.
And
in London.
he's
don't
come
need
out and given an interview saying he has to prove a lot of people wrong. I think Klasa is in it, so yeah.
Yeah. I'm a person who scouted him right from his Borussia days, so I'm least bothered right now if he's happy in
Class
London.
is always
I'm
happy.
Yeah. So
He's
just
like
I
that
just have
father
one
who ostracizes his child because he does something wrong, but at the end of the day, the love is always there. If Sancho is performing well elsewhere, Class is the happiest person.
Yeah. I'm the happiest person. The only thing